Is Rachel Reeves about to crash the economy? The autumn budget is coming up, so here are the worst things that I think she could do. Firstly, raise taxes on anything. After the last round of tax rises, it's become clear that for the first time, we have a Chancellor who does not understand cause and effect. A lot of economics is basically psychology. You tax things you want to discourage, and you don't tax things you want to encourage. Rachel Reeves decided to tax the employment of people, which has caused a huge spike in unemployment, and jobs falling out of the market at the fastest pace since the 2008 financial crash. She raised employers' national insurance, and then she raised the minimum wage. Now, surely giving the lowest paid a pay rise was a good thing, right? Not if it's artificial, because it only creates one thing: inflation. She should have been trying to lower prices and not increase wages, but here we are. There's talk of putting national insurance on rental properties, which is not an unreasonable suggestion, but the effect will either to be force landlords out of the sector, which will increase demand, or cause rent increases to cover the tax. Most likely both. But the price of this will be paid by working people. Because without rental controls or major social housing building, rental prices are set by supply and demand and not just abject greed. Now, wealth taxes. I'm all for them in theory, but every bit of data or tax expert I can find online or on a podcast suggests that they won't have the effect she thinks they will. Without a global tax agreement, all you'll be doing is removing rich people's money from our economy. That means if they move abroad, any of the people they employ or any of the money they spend will go to another economy. It sucks, but there's just too many loopholes for the super rich. Her biggest mistake would be if she did not start cutting the welfare state. I know this is a deeply controversial statement, but we simply cannot afford European levels of state benefits with US level taxes. We either have to tax literally everybody a considerable amount more, or we have to accept that changes need to be made. A huge mistake would be if she didn't start looking to undo the triple lock, means test pensions, and introduce some form of frontline charge to use the NHS. And again, we're talking doctor's appointments, dental appointments, something like £10. It's still being subsidised, but it's just allowing some money back into that system. My point about this is that that would effectively be a tax on the old and a tax relief on the young. This would mean you wouldn't have to raise taxes as much and would be a benefit for young people who are already being taxed to death. This is one way to make money for the NHS by generating it from the people who use it the most. Incidentally, things like operations or anything actually serious would still be free. It's just a nominal amount of money could go an awful long way. It would also be a mistake not to lower business rates and create a VAT holiday for hospitality. This is just to get them through the winter and energy bill rises, because that part of the economy is looking really close to collapsing. Finally, and I really mean this, stop borrowing money that the UK cannot afford to pay back. The bond market currently has no faith that the UK can pay back its loans, which is why we're seeing bonds costing about the same as they did 30 years ago. We're currently paying over $100 billion a year in debt interest alone. That's not us paying back the debt, that's just servicing the interest on it. And finally, she cannot be tempted to go full culture wars with immigration. Trying to make the UK into an Iron Dome will truly cost tens of billions. If you can't change immigration through policy and laws, then you need to spend that money on building housing instead.